Hello everyone, welcome to all. Today we are going to start our new chapter which is types, trend, causes, consequences and control of the disaster. So in this lecture we can learn about different various types of disaster. What are the types, what are the trends, what are the causes and what are the consequences and what are the control of disaster. Okay, so first of all we have to learn what is the type of this disaster. So this is the classification of disaster. We have a physical and geophysical natural classification and human technological, which is called the man-made disaster. Okay, in this natural disaster we can learn about the meteorological disaster, geological disaster, hydrological and biological. And in a man-made we can learn about the industrial, infrastructure and other disaster. So first of all, we have to learn this geological disaster, which is classified in the natural disaster. Okay, in the geological disaster, what we learn? We learn these topics. Okay, earthquake, landslide, tsunami, and volcano. Okay, other hydrological disaster we can learn drought and floods, and biological disaster which we can learn the epidemics. Okay, in the meteorological disaster we can learn the cyclone. Okay, uh, what is the windstorm. Okay, in the precipitation we can learn the avalanches, hailstorm, ice storm, lightning and what is the thunderstorm. And in a temperature meteorological disaster we can learn the cold wave and heat wave. Okay, so these are the topics which we can learn in this chapter, and today's lecture we are going to cover the earthquake. Okay, so what do you think, what is earthquake? So earthquake is the one of the most destructive, or we can say most deadliest disaster, we can say natural disaster. Okay, most deaths are caused by the collapsing of buildings or fires. An earthquake occurs due to sudden transient motion of a ground as a result of releasing the elastic energy in matter of few seconds. Okay, the impact of this event is most traumatic because it affects the large areas, occurs all of the sudden, and it is unpredictable. Okay, no one can predict no one can predict the earthquake where and when it happens. Okay, so when the earthquake is occurred, they can cause the large scale loss of life, property and disrupt the essential services such like water supply, sewage system, communication and power, transport, etc, etc. Okay, and they not only destroy the villages, towns and cities, but aftermath leads to destabilize the economy and social structure of the nation. Okay, so what we can say, what is an earthquake? So we can say an earthquake is a movement or trembling of a ground to produce by a sudden displacement of a rock in a earth crust. Okay, earthquake result from the crucial strain, volcanism, landslide and collapse on caverns. Okay, so this is the basic idea about the earthquake, and we can say this is the definition of the earthquake. Now what is the cause of earthquake? So before going to the causes of earthquake, we have to learn what are the structure of our earth. As you can see in the first figure. Okay, in the first figure, this figure shows the internal structure of earth, in which at the depth of the 5378 kilometer, our core is a solid and liquid part. Okay, then at the core part there is a mental level. Okay, mental level, this is called the mental level. and upon the mantle level there is the crust. Okay, mantle level, we have to say asthenosphere. Okay, this level is also called the asthenosphere, and this crust. Okay, this crust is divided into two parts, upper crust and lower crust, and this whole crust part is called the lithosphere. Okay, so uh, how earthquake can occur? Okay, there are some waves, as you can see in this figure. There are these waves called P wave, S wave, love waves, Rayleigh waves. Okay, and there is the hypocenter at which the earthquake can first occur. Okay, and the upper part of the crust where these waves is, we can say the field. Okay, we can say the field. This is called the epicenter. Okay, so when the two tectonic plates, as you can see in this figure, are, uh, you can say the when the two tectonic plates is collapse with each other, then the earthquake is occur. Okay, this is the one reason. Okay, this is the one reason. Okay, second reason is the sudden release of accumulated energy, or we can say stresses in the earth, or we can say the sudden movement of the land areas on the earth surface is called, is the causes of the earthquake. Okay, so we can say, what is the causes of earth. First of all, we learn the natural tectonic interaction. Okay, is the first, and second one is sudden release of accumulated energy or stress is also a causes of earth. Okay, now here the word seismic wave. So what is seismic wave? So seismic wave is large strain energy released during the earthquake travel as a seismic wave in all direction through the earth layer, as you can see in this figure. Hypocenter is where the first earthquake is occurred on. Okay, so the waveform is traveling to all the directions in the form of seismic waves. Okay, these waves, as you can see, these waves having the two types, body waves and surface wave, and surface wave having the two types, S wave, or body waves has a two types of primary waves, means P wave, and S wave, secondary waves. And surface wave consists the two types of waves, love waves and relay waves. Okay, sorry. Under the P waves, um, material particles undergo extensional and compressional strains along the direction of energy transmission, as you can see in the figure. Okay, as you can see in the figure. But under the P wave, material particles undergo the extensal and the compressional strain along the direction of transmission, but the under the S waves oscillate at the right angle to it. As you can see, the particles is oscillated itself. Okay, and love wave. What is the love wave? Love wave cause the surface motional similar to that by the S wave, but no vertical components. Okay, no vertical components. And Rayleigh waves make a material particles oscillates in a elliptical path in the vertical path, sorry, in a vertical plane. Okay, with the horizontal movement along the direction of energy transmission. Okay, so these are the seismic waves. Now there is a one term, as you can as you aware about it, it's called magnitude. So what is magnitude? So magnitude is nothing but a quantitative measure of actual size of earthquake. Okay, magnitude is an quantitative measure of actual size of earthquake. Here one name is called Professor Charles Richter. Who who is Professor Charles Richter? He is the founder. He is a founder. He is a founder of Richter scale. Okay, he found the Richter scale at which we can measure our magnitude of an earthquake. Okay, so Professor Charles Richter noticed that at the same distance, seismograph. Okay, what is seismograph? Records of earthquake ground vibration. This is seismograph of a large earthquake have a bigger wave amplitude than those of smaller earthquake. And for a given earthquake, seismographs at the further distance have a smaller wave amplitude than those at a close distances. Okay, this prompt him to propose the now commonly used magnitude scale called the Richter scale. Okay, and this scale is also called the local magnitude scale. As you can see, I can write up one point here. Okay, there are the other magnitude scales like a body wave magnitude scale, okay, surface wave magnitude, and wave energy magnitude. Okay, this numerical magnitude scale have no upper limits and no lower limits. The magnitude of a very small earthquake can be zero or even negative also. Okay, so this is all about the magnitude. Okay, now this is the magnitude, but there is one more term which is called intensity. So what is intensity? Intensity is a qualitative measurement of an actual shaking at a location during an earthquake, and it is assigned as a Roman capital numerals. Okay, so what is intensity? Intensity is a qualitative measure of the actual shaking at the location or during an earthquake. As you can see, I can write a point here. Okay, there are many intensity scales, but two commonly used scales we can learn. First one is modified Marshall intensity, means MMI, as you can see, and the second one is MSK scale. Okay, both scale are quite similar and range from 1 to 12. One is least perspective and 12 is more severe. Okay, and the intensity scales are based on three features of shaking. Here you can see, as you can see, first one is perception of people and animals, second one is performance of buildings, and third one is changes in a natural surroundings. Okay, the distribution of this intensity at different places during an earthquake is shown graphically using the isosysmal isosysmal and line joining place with equal to seismic intensity. Okay, so this is all about the term intensity. Now there are some classification of earthquake. Okay, mainly we have a two types of classification here. First one is based on magnitude, second one is based on distance. So here I can write some classification which is based on the magnitude. As you can see, magnitude, if magnitude is greater than or equal to 8, is called the great earthquake. Okay, between 7 and 8, major or we can say large earthquake. 5 to 7, modern earthquake. 3 to 5, small earthquake. 1 to 3, micro earthquake. And less than the 1 is ultra micro earthquake. Okay, now second one is based on distance. If the magnitude, if the intensity of earthquake is greater than 1000 km, is called the telesismic earthquake. If magnitude is greater than 500 km, or we can say also we can here write 1000 km, 1000 to 500 kilometer, we can say the regional earthquake, and below the 500 kilometer it is called local earthquake. Okay, so this is the all about the classification of earthquake based on its distance. Now, now, uh, what is the nature of earthquake? So, what is nature? If as you aware about the nature of earthquake, there are the five natures. Okay, first one is foreshock, as you can see on the screen. Second one is main shock. Okay, third one is aftershock. Fourth one is earthquake swarm, and fifth one is normal seismic activities. Okay, so these are the five natures of the earthquake as you know about it. Okay, so what we learn till here, what we learn? So we learn the study of earthquake is called the seismology. Okay, you have to learn. So study of earthquake is called seismology. Scientists measure and records the earthquake using the device called seismometers. Okay, third point is which what we can learn: the size of an earthquake is measured according to its magnitude. Okay, then there are the number of ways to measure the magnitude of an earthquake. Okay, first of all, Richter scale is developed by the Charles Richter. Okay, scientists measure the strength of earthquake using the machine known as the seismograph. Okay, so these are the which are the key points we can learn from first slide to this slide. Okay, now what are the after this nature of earthquake? As you can see, what are the consequences of earthquake? Okay, so there are the some consequences. Here I can write some consequences of earthquake, like economic activities like agricultural, industry, trains, transportation are severely affected. Okay, water pipe and sewer systems are disrupted. Communication and telephone wire are damaged. As you know, this is the common consequences of Earth. You can learn easily from here, from this slide. Okay, so these are the consequences of earthquake. Now, what are the prevention and what are the protection steps from which we can learn how to save our life whenever earthquake is occurred? Okay, so there are some points as I can mention here, and I can tell you here. If you are in a house, okay, and earthquake is occurred, so what we do and what we do not. Okay, so don't use lift as if you are live in a house. Okay, second one, what to do? Be prepared to move with your family. Okay, second point is if you are in a shop or in a school or in a office, so what not to do? Don't run for an exit. Okay, and do not go near electric point and cable. Okay, and what to do? Take cover under the table and move away from the window glass. Okay, so these are the points. As you can see, I already mentioned in this slide. Now, if you are an outside, so what to do and what not to do? So what we do, if possible, move on to an open area away from the hazardous, including tree. Okay, hazard including tree. And what not to do? Don't run through the streets and avoid the high buildings, walls, power lines, and other objects that could fall and create the block. If you are on a vehicle, what to do and what not to do? So what we can do? Stop in a safe place, open place. Okay, safe open place. and remain outside the vehicle. Okay, and close the window, door, and vents. Okay, there are some other points which we have to learn whenever the earthquake is occurred. We have to keep calm, switch on the transistor radio, and obey the instruction which can pass through the government. Okay, keep away from the beaches and low bank of the river. Third point is turn off the water, gas, and electricity of your house. And fourth one is do not smoke, do not light a match, or use a cigarette lighter. Okay, so these are the some preventions and protection which we have to learn from it here and apply whenever earthquake is an occur. Okay, so this is all about the earthquake. This is all about the earthquake. Okay, there are so many points in earthquake. First of all, we can say there are the from the Indian government. Okay, from an location of India, we can learn there are the uh, zones. There are the some seismic zones. Okay, our India is divided into five zones. Okay, divided into five zones for one, two, three, four, and five. But four and fifth zone is already combined. Okay, so we have the fourth seismic zone in India, okay, which we can learn in the next session. Okay, in a today's session, we can learn some basic about the earthquake. What is an earthquake? What is the causes of earthquake? What is seismic wave? Okay, what is a magnitude? What is intensity? Okay, types of earthquake. Okay, classification of earthquake based on the magnitude. So in a today's lecture, we can learn this lot of things, the basic things about the earthquake and what to do and what not to do whenever earthquake is occurred. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture. In the next lecture, we can learn about the seismic zones in India. Okay, till then, Jai Hind.